Week, so let's send it over to Patrick for the place to be to meet one of our weather watchers.
Indeed, indeed. So we're going a little old school today for you. That's going to be the theme throughout our live broadcast. Number one, where are we? We're in Keithville. Two, as you already know, been profiling our Weather Watcher program. And we came out today to a really unique one, at least in my opinion. It is we're talking to a gentleman who this is done weather observing for a long time, but he's relatively new to the Weather Watcher program itself. Paul Knipe here with me. And Paul, number one, let me ask you this question. How long have you been doing weather observing? Not weather watchers, but actual weather observing.
Well, probably about 25 years. Okay. Started off about year 2000 with NWS and with Co-op Observer to about 12, and then there went to CoCoRaHS. Mm-hmm. And then Mike Lyles, last year in June at one of our little Southwood graduate luncheons got me involved in the Weather Watchers.
So, and you actually have, when I say old school here, folks, I want you to take a look at this here. This is actually, you sort of refurbished this, if I'm not mistaken. Did you get these from the Weather Service? It was sort of a Boy Scout project, right?
Yes, it was an Eagle project for my son, and we had some extra pieces left over. And this is the original 1951 door, and then there's government designed lock, which actually does work. And then some of the bracing inside of it.
Now, you have to come out every day to do your observing out here. You don't have internet hooked up to it, old school.
Old school.
You don't have one of those new fancy stations, old school there. Do you have people, though, that are weather nerds that are completely fascinated that you have one of these?
Yeah, they are. In fact, they're really tickled about, I've got some latest contacts about people being in the Air Force taking their readings when they were doing the meteorology with the Air Force about using these shelters and stuff. The one thing that they asked me about, they said, I bet you don't have a sling psychrometer, and I do have a sling psychrometer here. I do have a battery operated sling psychrometer for use, but also teaching astronomy and the weather merit badge at the Garland Scout Ranch. Acquired a lot of little equipment for the guy.
And so that brings up something else, folks. You got to make sure you stick around for. We're going to talk more with him about his love for weather as well, and we'll learn more about. I was going to say we'll get recommendations from him for weather stations you could buy, but you can't buy anything like this, by the way. But on top of that, that building right there, what exactly is that building and what's inside of it? Well, stay tuned. We'll chat more with Paul Knipe, one of our weather watchers, coming up here in just a little bit. But I'm telling you what, it's out of this world. That's a little tease. It's out of this world. You don't want to miss it. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a little bit.
And Patrick, please give Tuna my love out there at the Knipe residence. Very, very special dog out there. So
I have not seen Tuna yet. Where's Tuna?
We got to get her out.
Tuna's in the house.
Okay, let's bring her out here. We got to get Tuna on television. All right. Thank you very much, Patrick. We'll check in.
He's spending some time with one of our weather watchers, and he has a pretty interesting setup out there today.
Yeah, Caroline, we are here today, the place to be, profiling our weather watchers, wrapping up there because this week they're celebrating 10 years. We're actually with one of our newest weather watchers, but a gentleman who's been messing around with weather for quite a while there. He's hiding out. Paul, come over here this way. Come on over this way for me. So Paul Knipe here for you. But Paul is different than a lot of people. So I guess in one aspect is this here. I don't think you're going to find too many people out there that have their own backyard observatory. And you call this the Bayou Astronomical Observatory, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
yeah.
So you obviously must have a really big passion for astronomy.
Yes. It's my mother's fault, but started in 1967.
1967.
Yeah, it was one of the years of the great linear meteor shower and stuff.
Really?
So
Okay.
it's fantastic. A great way to start a hobby.
I think so. And you started hobby, you went in a big way here for it, because think of it as this here. This telescope here isn't just an ordinary telescope. Where did this come from?
Centenary College.
Centenary College. And how old do you think this is?
It's at least 85 years old. The gentleman that donated it to Centenary was the president of a bank, and he donated it in 1940 to the college, and he states in the paperwork that I found at this college that he had it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But this scope was made probably back in the mid-30s.
Fascinating.
The same company that did the repair optics for the Hubble Space Telescope. It's a Tinsley 10-inch Cassegrain reflector.
Okay, so we got about 30 seconds left here. One of the things we want to make sure we show people. So he not just has a telescope, an observatory. There's a roof there over. So we have to open it. Can he finish and open up the roof the whole way? I just want you guys to see it. So he does this. He has a drill hooked up to the back in the background. And he's going to go now and go. And there you go. He removes the roof. So he's now able to go and do his observations with it. This will actually tilt down and let him, I'll step out of the way and let you see it. And that way he puts it all there. So he's ready to do his observations. And one of the things he does is that he has certain stars that he's looking for in certain areas. I'm dare not going to say the areas he's looking at because I don't remember them. He told me that a little bit earlier. But it is some of the coolest stuff here. But again, folks, as we wrap it up, out here today, Paul Knipe, Keithville, Louisiana. We are here talking about weather, talking about, astronomy as well. And I think this is pretty cool indeed. We'll be back for you in our next hour as well. And we'll talk more about some of the cool things that he has here.
Patrick, for the last day of our Weather Watcher celebration, where are you today for the place to be?
Yeah, so we're actually here in Keithville, Louisiana. We are wrapping up our profile of some of our weather watchers this week. We're actually with one of the newer members of the weather watchers, but a gentleman that's been observing weather. I'm going to take a guess. I remember earlier, maybe let's just say 25 years, a quarter of a century. So been doing it around for a little while. And he has actually, a setup here. And Paul, you can come on over this way. This is actually a setup that he has is very similar to what the National Weather Service has, and they put it together because of a Boy Scout project, right, Paul?
That's correct. It's my son's Eagle project to refurbish these instrument shelters in Bossier Parish.
That's pretty neat here with it. So this is sort of old school, folks. So he literally comes out here. How often during the daytime?
I do a morning report around 8 o'clock,
right,
and then I do the 4:30 report for KTBS.
Gotcha. So then he has this here. But let's go over here. So tell us what this is, because somebody that doesn't know anything about it might come up and say, what is this here? So it's a rain gauge inside of it, I know, correct?
Yes,
obviously.
It's an 8-inch SRG. It holds about 20 inches.
Right.
And this is a 10-inch rain gauge as well.
Okay, and all these are functioning rain gauges.
That's correct. This is the gauge that's used to report from this station. It's a registered station.
So my next question is for you. What is the purpose of these outer rings here for it? And I know what the answer is to it, but why do you need this here in Louisiana? So tell us what the purpose is first.
Well, it's a windscreen, preferably for snow.
Gotcha.
But my wife and I were RVing up in Colorado a number of years back, and we saw one of these on the side of a stream, and I said, I got to have one of those.
All right, little connection
Okay.
issues there with
So
Pat. Oh,
it's a
wait,
good
maybe we have him
retirement
back.
project. I had the materials and time to do it.
We had a connection issue.
We're good. We're back.
Are we still up?
We might still be.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so we're still. It might have been because we got around all this metal here. Believe it or not, we might have gone out. We're about to wrap up the segment, but we do have somebody else that we need to get on air real quick. And who is this over here? Because there's a big debate about what the name is of this dog. So nowadays, the dog's original name was Luna, and now it is Tuna. And Alex knows this dog, and so Alex wanted us to make sure we got a chance to meet this dog here.
Tuna.
And it does say Tuna on the name tag.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does say tuna on
she's
there.
the best.
Pretty dog there. Or just man. So yeah, good doggy right here. But we had to get the star on here for you so that Alex would be happy and all with it. So there you go. Send it back to Alex.
Thank
Say
you,
bye,
Patrick,
Alex.
and Tuna. And I see little Riker running around in the background. So tell Riker I said what's up as well, Patrick. Tuna, you're the best. Let's take a quick.
Send it over to Patrick for his Place to Be segment with one of our weather watchers today.
Yeah, Caroline, we're wrapping things up for you here. This time around, we're in Keithville, Louisiana, one of our newest weather watchers that we have, but he does a lot of things old school, folks, a variety of different things that he has. Paul Knipe is his name. Paul, come on over here with me, sir. And, we're wrapping things up here a little bit. You obviously, too, have a love for, astronomy, observing planets and stars and all that. And in case you missed a little earlier on, probably once it's put online, people can see it. You don't have your ordinary backyard telescope, do you?
No, I don't.
You have your own observatory with a telescope inside of it that probably dates back more than 80 years, you said.
Oh, yeah, over about 85 years. It's a gift from my grandfather.
Yes, it was originally, at Centenary?
Yeah, Centenary College.
That is pretty cool there, too.
Yes.
And then as well with it, you also like to do, we'll walk over this way. We've talked a lot with our weather watchers this week about their equipment that they have. And a lot of times, I'd ask them, well, what do you recommend to people there for it? And this here, you can't really recommend this. Maybe you can help them build one like it, because this is what old school is like. You can actually see it right here. Property of U.S. Weather Bureau. This is what they have set up. The National Weather Service uses, right?
That's correct.
And so, and you don't have this hooked up to Wi-Fi or anything?
No. No Wi-Fi.
So you come out here every day in the morning, in the evening, you do your weather observations and document them down, even when it's raining?
Yes. And if it's lightning or something like that, I can do a multi-day report. If
Okay.
it's lightning seen or something like that.
Okay. Why do you love doing this so much?
Oh, it's just fun I like to measure things.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the KTBS program, go out into the community and stuff. The other stuff with Conquer Oz and the Weather Service, they use the data, and it's very good data, and it's used for climate. But it's nice to kind of share this with the community of the
Right.
temperatures and the rain quantities.
Okay, we got to get to one final thing, but we can recommend to people one
Yes.
thing though that they can have, and you've been very proud of this, and it is what?
It's called Weather Rock.
Your weather rock. So if the weather rock is wet, that means what?
It's raining,
If the weather rock is white, that means it's probably snowing.
snowing.
If the weather rock is gone,
It's probably inclement weather.
somehow.
And if the weather rock is moving, then we have a wind.
Okay.
And if it's not moving, there's no wind.
So and weather on a rock and attach it to a rope, and then you pretty much have it.
You can go old school.
Old school. One final question. Where did you get yours?
I got it on a Boy Scout trip in the Buffalo River.
Okay, I'm going to start up a thing of this and put them on Amazon and sell for about $15 each. Anyway, folks, but there you go. That is it there. If you really want to be a cost cutter and not spend anything, get yourself a weather rock. So we'll send it back to the station right now.
That rocks, Patrick. I'll see myself out.